let's stick around here in the greater West Bloomfield area for a short time more as we now bring in Josh Birnberg, the coach of West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball. Their season is already off to a very hot start. Josh, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me on as always.
Yeah, love having you on to talk about this team that's had an exciting last few years of baseball and really a ton of promise behind this baseball team. Let's talk about this year's team. What's special about them, and what's the potential for this year's squad on the diamond?
Yeah, well, we bring back a lot of really good players that have had a lot of big time experience for us. So, sky's really the limit. I mean, we have big goals. I think for the first time, we can honestly say that we think that we can compete for a state championship. For the first time in a while. So, we're not afraid to put that out there. And it's a big goal for all of us, and especially our seniors that have been around and playing now for a while. So, that's our goal. We're playing a really hard league that should get us prepared for the playoffs. So yeah, sky's the limit for us, and we're happy to be finally underway and get games going.
And I know you got some players recently who have signed their national letters of intent and are going to be playing baseball at the next level. And so for them coming into their final season at WB, this is really a great time for them to show what they're made of to their coaches at the next level, but also for those other guys that have those aspirations to go on to the next level to show what they're made of as well. So for a team like this that has those championship aspirations, that championship potential, but is also trying to build those opportunities for these kids, as a coach, how do you balance that or help the guys balance that as they're working as a team toward a variety of different goals?
Yeah, well, it was important for a lot of our guys to get that out of the way before the season started, to kind of take that weight off their shoulders so they could just focus on the season instead of trying to figure out where they're going to the next level. And then for the younger guys that aren't committed yet, we've been fortunate to have a lot of guys commit to play baseball at the next level the last few years since I've been here, and really, throughout the baseball program for the last 10, 15 years. So we've been sending a lot of guys on the next level, which is awesome. Colleges take notice of our program. They come out and watch us play and reach out to me about our players that are uncommitted. So, it's great. The guys that are committed, like I said, the weight's off their shoulders. So the goal is just baseball now. They don't have to worry about that and have the pressure of, trying to impress a school. And then, we just all want to win. The more we win, I think the more attention that we get. So our younger guys are more worried about just playing well and helping the team win as much as possible. And they know the college stuff will come as that goes.
We're joined by Josh Birnberg, the coach of the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball team. Their squad already off to a very hot start. Just yesterday played a game against Waterford Mott High School that only lasted 2 innings because of the run rule. Eight runs in the first inning, 10 in the second inning. I mean, that's a game where you got some guys, too, that were coming up and making their first starts of the season. Really great showing from your team yesterday on the diamond. What is that difference this year that's made this team take that next step forward, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I was proud of our guys yesterday. We have all our seniors basically gone for spring break. So it was a great opportunity for a lot of guys to get in there that have been practicing really hard and deserved an opportunity to play. So it was awesome to see them not only get in there, but play well and have a big win for us. But yeah, we're just trying to keep the momentum going. We had a huge year last year. So I think we kind of all believe now that we can do it. When you have a year like that, I think it kind of makes all the hard work pay off, and, know that we're doing things the right way. So just trying to continue that momentum and take even the next step here, which is going to be hard to do, but we're all ready for the challenge.
And it's interesting, too, because in baseball in particular, like any other sport at the high school level, it's a long season. It's an enduring season. You got a lot of games ahead of you before you even start to think about playoffs and certainly about making it to the state championship game. And so seeing that play from maybe down the depth chart, from those guys that maybe are going to get some playing time, but maybe not at that starting level day after day throughout the season, that has to be a huge positive for you and your coaching staff, especially this early in the season when they're playing that kind of baseball.
Huge positive. Absolutely. To know that we have that kind of depth is awesome. And it really was kind of like a sneak preview into what the team will look like next year. We only had one senior there yesterday, and I DH'd him, and he's usually our starting shortstop. So every kid in the field was an underclassman that will be back next year, and was a pretty cool look into what the future will look like. And we got a lot of good players and a lot of good depth. So I was extremely happy for them and extremely happy for the program to see how yesterday went.
And there's been some stories recently in our local area that have gotten some traction, particularly on social media in the high school sports area, about athletes participating in multiple sports throughout the year. And it really came up as a topic of conversation surrounding Cass Tech, who just won the D1 basketball championship with multiple players on those teams that are either two-sport or even three-sport athletes who are finishing up their basketball season while also participating in track. And I know on your team you have some of your top athletes who are multi-sport athletes. What does that bring to students to have experience, not just on the baseball diamond, but in other sports and other team environments, and then to play also on your baseball team in the spring?
Oh, I love it. The more sports these guys play, the better. As you know, obviously, we have a lot of guys that play football and a lot of guys through the years that have played football and baseball. So, with our football program being so good, you're talking about kids getting big time experience in big time games, during football season. So, it's just the more big time games and the more sports that these guys play, the better. No, it's no hate toward anyone that just plays one sport. That's great too. But you got to be all in with whatever you do. So, whether you're playing two or three sports, whether you just play one, make sure you're all in with that. And, I encourage guys to play as many sports as possible. So, I played a couple sports and loved it. And, these guys got to play as many sports as they can for as long as they can. So I love it and would always encourage guys to do that as much as possible.
We're joined on the Splash Live by West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball coach Josh Birnberg, also a graduate of West Bloomfield High School where you played baseball too. You're a baseball guy through and through, so I got to ask you as we approach the beginning of Major League Baseball season, what are your opinions on the new rules, the pitch clock, the bigger bases, the lack of the shift? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, obviously it's been getting a lot of blowback from our old traditional, baseball fans. I mean, I'm kind of more old school, so I don't love to see a little bit of what's going on. It seems like some of the things that the ideas are kind of in the right spaces, but it doesn't seem like they're executing it the right way, and it's kind of taken away from the game a little bit, and it's not really baseball. So I know they're trying to speed the game up, but feel like there's got to be some better ways to do it than what we've seen so far. So I got to see more as the regular season plays out. I know that maybe they'll change some things as spring training ends and as we get into the regular season. I saw even some rules that might be taken away a little bit, which would be nice to see. So I don't want to be too critical until the regular season starts, but definitely seeing some things that are pretty crazy that I would hope don't last too much longer.
Yeah, I saw some of those rules have an effect in spring training. Some games being called late due to some of the errors that come along with, particularly that pitch clock, and also seeing some of the strategy that surrounds the shift going away and impacting games as well. Joining us is Josh Birnberg, the head coach of the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball team, on today's edition of the Splash Live. And as we talk about baseball season coming up, we talked about the major leagues rules. Tigers baseball, not exactly in the best spot it's been in recent years. What are your predictions? What are your thoughts on this upcoming season for the Tigers?
Yeah. It's upsetting because when I was growing up, around these kids' age in middle school, high school, we were really good, and we had been really bad. So we were appreciating how good the team was for those 5, 6, 7 years, and now we just have not had anything to really even look forward to for a long time now. So it feels like the rebuild is kind of starting over. I know our regular season win total is not very high in Vegas, which makes sense. So always excited though for the start of the season. You never know. You just never know. We got some young guys that are kind of like a prove it year for some of those guys. So excited to see how they play, and just excited for baseball to be back in general. And see those guys play. And when the MLB starts, it feels like baseball season officially is underway. So excited to see those guys get started on Thursday out in Tampa.
Yeah, exciting season coming up for Major League Baseball. It's an exciting time of the year for baseball lovers across our local area, and especially right here in the greater West Bloomfield community, where West Bloomfield High School's Lakers baseball team is off to a very hot start so far this season. Coach, thank you very much for being with us today.
Appreciate you always having me. Have a good day.